everyone, welcome to the first video of Steroid series episode by Steroids 2. In this first episode of Steroid series, I'm gonna talk about Dianabol history, what Dianabol is, what it does. I bet you are going to love the end part where I will discuss how strong Dianabol is, so don't miss the end. Let's start from the history part. Dianabol was more or less the second anabolic steroid ever produced. The first one was testosterone, which was produced in the early 90s and experimented with by Nazis in World War II in an attempt to produce a better soldier. Russian athletes in the 1953 World Championship as well as the Olympic Games then used testosterone with great success. After that, John Ziegler, who was a doctor working with the US weightlifting team, began a cooperative project with Cuba to develop an equalizer for US athletes. Flash forward to 1956 and enter Dianabol. The original trade name for Cuba's methandrostenolone was called Dbol by athletes. The original package insert said that 10 mg a day was enough to provide full androgen replacement for a man, and Dr. Ziegler recommended that athletes take 5 to 10 mg a day. Incidentally, this is also the dose that bodybuilders were reputed to take from then until roughly the 1970s. Yeah, this was allegedly Arnold's dose, simply stuck with some testosterone. I'm done with the history part. Let's get into what Dianabol is and what it does. But before starting the second part, I wanna clear to you guys, I'm not a doctor nor a medical professional, so do not take any advice from me. Whatever you decide to do, it's up to you. Well, first off, it's actually found in pill form, though it can be found as an injectable also under the trade name Reforvit-B, which is 25 mg of methandrostenolone mixed with B vitamins. It is a 17AA steroid, which means it has been altered at the 17 carbon position to survive its first pass through your liver and make it into your bloodstream. It will raise your blood pressure and is hepatotoxic, so be careful with it. Although researching through online, I have read people to take up to 100 mg a day of this stuff and not suffer any effects. One study looked at that exact dose and the people involved didn't suffer any intolerable side effects. Let's examine this particular study a bit further. In this study done in the early 80s, a very high dose of Dbol, 100 mg a day for 6 weeks, decreased plasma testosterone to about 40% of its normal value. Plasma GH went up to about a third. LH dropped to about 80% of its original value, and FSH went down about a third also. These are all approximate numbers for the sake of brevity, but you get the idea. Body fat did not go up significantly, and fat-free mass went up anywhere between 2 to 7 kgs, 3.3 kgs average gain. The researchers concluded that Dbol increases fat-free mass as well as strength and performance. How strong is Dianabol? So guys, we were at the end part, the part you are going to love. So let's start it. Well, on a milligram for milligram basis, most people agree that it's stronger than FSD. The reason most people don't get the same gains of Dbol is that almost nobody takes equivalent doses. I mean, I have read online people taking 150 mg of A50 but not Dbol. Although Dianabol would probably provide more solid gains and be less toxic. I suspect. So how do we incorporate this stuff into our AS regimen? Clearly, the inclusion of Dbol at any point in a cycle would contribute to gains. However, we would speculate that Dianabol is most rarely used for two reasons. One, at the start of a cycle to keep steady gains. Two, as a bridge between cycles to maintain gains. Let's examine these two uses. In order to start a cycle, usually what you do is incorporate a fast-acting oral like Dianabol or Anadrol and combine it with long-acting injectables such as Deca with some testosterone. The reasoning here is that the oral Dianabol in this case will give almost immediate results, while the injectable takes time to produce results. The end result is that you start seeing results within the first week of your cycle and continue up until the end with the injectables. That entails taking anywhere from 25 to 50 milligrams of Dianabol for 3 to 6 weeks at the start of a cycle and then ceasing their use as the injectables start to produce results. In order to successfully bridge between cycles, you need to recover your natural hormonal levels to pre-cycle levels or to within acceptable parameters. And then you start your next cycle. The idea here is that you won't lose any gains, but rather a low dose of an AAS would help you maintain them. Typically, you'd use around 10 milligrams a day of Dbol and combine it with an aggressive post-cycle therapy course of Nolvadex and HCG. This would give you full androgen replacement from the Dbol and a shot at recovering your natural hormonal levels like the other stuffs you are taking. Remember, the 100 milligrams a day dose of Dianabol in the study we looked at earlier did not suppress test LH or FSH to a degree that would make recovery impossible. And it certainly cannot with 1 to 10 that dose in conjunction with an aggressive PCT. All in all, this is a very good drug and a potent tool for quick gains and or retaining gains when used properly and safely. Remember the keywords: properly and safely. That's all I have for this episode. We'll be back very soon with the second episode of Steroid series. Follow us on Instagram, Bucking Dude, for bucking cutting tips and help us to grow.